Hello everybody, Jordan Ray here again, and I'm going to be just showing you quickly how to use the onEdit trigger in Google Sheets. I saw this great idea on Stack Overflow that was posted about taking attendance on Google Sheets and having a kind of auto-fill column in your sheet. So I've already thrown together a quick little sheet here, and the idea being that you can put a P in here in the all, and then it will fill in the P for the other columns. Or maybe if you want to use A, you can, for A for absent, fill in those columns. So let's get started. I'm going to open up the script editor. Okay, let's get started. First thing I like to do is just change the project name, and I'm going to just call it onEdit example. You can call it whatever you want, but it helps me to have everything saved before getting started. The onEdit trigger is actually built in to Google Sheets, so all you need to do is just create the function. It takes in one parameter, an event parameter. I'm going to leave that space there. It takes in this E for event, and that has some built-in keys on it that we're going to use. Actually to determine where we are getting our values. So I want to get the column first, and I'm just going to call it column. And we need to do E dot parameter dot, it's actually going to be get range, and so we need to actually take it off of the range. A very easy way to kind of find out more about the event object is just by going to the help and opening up the API reference. But it's actually e.range.getColumn. We also need to get the row, and that's e.range.getRow. These will give us numerical values for those things. I'm also going to get the A1 notation for the cell, e.range.getA1 notation. And that's actually just going to be a value of A2, or if it's L, it'll be L3. That's what they mean by A1 notation. So we're going to get those three variables. I'm also going to create an empty array here, and I'm going to call all columns. And this is going to be so that we can modify which columns we want to pay attention to. Really, when I want this onEdit function to trigger, I'm going to be only looking at the B, G, L, Q. So I won't actually need to run this onEdit every single time. So I'm going to do an if statement that's going to run when certain things happen. Okay, we're going to put that in there in a few minutes. But let's get actually which columns these are. B, G, L, Q, V. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go ahead and start filling those in because I forget quickly. 2 and 7. 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're actually just adding 5. 7, 12, 17, and 22. Could have probably figured that out without counting so much. I think it has been a long day. Those columns are the ones we want to pay attention to. And then we want to say if all columns index of, and I'll talk more about this index of function in 1 second, index of is greater than -1. And we want to do index of column. So if the column number is in this array, then it will actually be, it'll give us the index, which will be 0 or more. If it's not in the array, it gives us -1. So we're testing that it is greater than -1, and then we're going to run whatever is in this, inside this block here, this block. So we're going to then loop. We need to run a for loop. Oops. And that for loop is going to be var I is our incrementer, and we actually want to set the incrementer to start at whichever column we are in +1. So let's say var I equals column +1. Then we want it to go only 4 more columns, right? So we want it to then just copy that value into the next 4 columns. So we're going to say I is less than column +5. That makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, because we just want it to be the next 4. And then we need to increment it once each loop. Okay, this is a good starting point. It is late in the afternoon, and simple math is making my life difficult right now. So we wanted to then, for each of those columns, we are going to write in a variable. So we want to get the active sheet. Then we want to get active sheet. Then we are going to get the range, which is going to be row. But then instead of the column that we have created, we're going to change this to I, because I is going to be at the next column and then increment through. This incrementer is what's going to be moving. So we're going to get that range, and then we're going to set value. And we're going to set value to e.value. And this e is the event object that we have up here, and value is just another parameter that is on that event object. So we used the range a couple of times up here. We're also going to grab the value there. So it's going to do that 4 times, and at the very end, after it runs that for loop, we want to clear out the original spreadsheet app.get active sheet, and then we want to get range, and we're going to put the cell in there, this variable that we've declared here. We're going to get the range of that cell, we're going to set value, and we're going to just make it a blank object there. So let's try this out. We've got the onEdit function. Everything should be set up here, and we should be ready to test out. It's going to take whatever value you put into this cell, and then it's going to copy it to the next 4, and then it should clear out the original, but it didn't clear out the original. Let's see if we can figure out why not. Whoops, we don't want it to be all, we want it to be A. Okay, it's not clearing out the original. We want to get active sheet, get range, cell, and then we're going to set value. Can we make that a blank? Old value. We want to clear. I think there should be a, that is why, typo in there. I think there's also a method on here that should be clear. Whoops. Yes, clear. So we can also, instead of just filling that with a null value,